Have you ever wondered why Bohemian Rhapsody feels so emotional before we even get to the big harmonies in the chorus? Or have you ever thought about what's the one instrument holding this whole song together? I'll tell you what, baby. Let's put those headphones on and find out for ourselves as we isolate the tracks to Bohemian Rhapsody and answer those questions and more. So let's really just dive into what Freddie's doing on the piano. What I'm curious about is to see what kind of effect it has, like emotionally. Like, what chords is he playing? What do we think gives it that emotional quality? So just a couple of simple chords right in the beginning. Ooh, you know what sticks out to me? So this is why this is cool doing this stuff. This musical melody here. Does this sound familiar? So similar to that, right? It's a simpler version. Oh, that's so cool. What we want to do is focus our attention on how the piano line is really supporting the vocals and the harmonies. Like creating, throughout this whole video, when we talk about vocals, I want us to really focus on and hear how the piano is really foundational and filling out the chords and the harmony parts that they're singing on top of it. It's almost like the piano is like the foundation of the song, of the harmonies, and the vocal parts are stacked on top of that, and the piano part is really supporting that. Open your eyes, look up to the skies and see. Just subtle stuff like how the piano pauses just for a second even. These little nuances of the arrangement to let the vocals ring out on top of it, and then the piano line comes back in. Look up to the skies and see. And then we have Freddie coming in with the quintessential line. I'm just a poor boy. I need no sympathy. Now the next thing we want to focus on with the piano that I think is really interesting is we're going to listen to it isolated to hear what it's doing, and I'm just kind of curious of how this interplays with the vocal part. And what I want us to do right now that I'm going to do is like, okay, I've heard the harmony parts billions of times. Now I'm listening to the piano part, and I want to listen to like what Freddie's doing, and then I'm going to imagine those vocal parts on top of it and how the piano is really supporting the vocal harmonies. At least in my opinion. That's the easy come, easy go, little high, little low part. Ooh! Now we'll just play the vocals back on top of it. Easy come, easy go, little high, little low. And there's a really cool trick too of something that just stuck out to me called panning. So panning is really a cool technique that they use in the studio, and I'm gonna use a really extreme version of it right now. Panning would be like when you hear a vocal part on the left side only and the instruments maybe on the right side only. This is an extreme case. A lot of times what you'll do is you'll kind of pan things a little bit more to the left, a little bit more to the right sometimes. But Queen, especially on this song, they pan the hell out of things. Okay, so here's a really good example of panning in this song. So this vocal part starts out, it says, "'Cause I'm easy come, easy go." And we hear that fully in both ears. But when he says little high, little low, you're going to hear little high in the left ear, and you're going to only hear little low in the right ear. Check it out. Easy come, easy go, little high, little low. So I mean, that's so cool, and we combine that with the piano. Picks up the pace a little bit. Ooh, a little chord with a little tension in there. Here it comes. And stuff like the technique is so dramatic where like he's just like right? Oh, look what we got here. We got John Deacon on the bass. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Not giving us much. Right? And this is how supportive it works. Like the bass is totally supporting the piano right now and the rest of the song and the vocals. And then you notice as we get over here, it picks up a little bit. Ooh. Oh, listen to some of that swanky slide. The nuance of his John Deacon's bass playing is incredible. He's got that sort of these swanky slides. Like right here, he throws in a little extra note and just slides into it. Ah. And then here, right? And let's hear those interacting with the piano together. And it's like butter and popcorn. That bass is just playing like just what's needed to re-emphasize like the chord that Freddie's playing essentially and the key the song is in beautifully. He's not overplaying. I don't even think he's underplaying. I think he's just playing exactly what this song needs. And it's incredible. The beautiful thing about isolating these tracks is we get to listen to the sound quality of the singer's voice. And in this case, if you're here and you're watching this, it's because you love Freddie Mercury. Let's just take a second to listen to the beauty of his voice without anything underneath it. And what I'm curious about is the subtleties of what I'm hearing, like that make this such an emotional vocal line. Mama just killed a man. Like that stuff, like Mama, like letting the air, forcing the air out. Just killed a man, like letting it die. So good. Mama just killed a man. Oh, it just falls off. Put a gun against his head. Pulled my trigger, now he's dead. Oh, and that little vibrato at the end of dead. Oh, it's just like these little subtle things that you can't always hear when everything else is happening. He's dead. Dead. Like that. It's great. He's dead. See what I mean? Oh, so beautiful. Mama, life had just begun. The quality of his voice is so beautiful. It blows my mind that he was like a total partier. Like, I don't know if he was a chain smoker or not, but I know he liked cigarettes. Probably dabbled in some cocaine like in the 70s like everybody else. I know he ended up getting vocal nodes on his chords and stuff, vocal cords. And it's just so beautiful though. But now I've gone and thrown it all away. And like that line right there, we've got this cool rhythmic phrasing, and it's real airy and beautiful, and then it just gets rock and roll. Where he's like, way, like gets the grit in there. But so let's check out the vocal phrasing, and then the airiness and the beauty of his voice, and then just that nasty rock and roll quality he tags it with. But now I've gone and thrown it all away. Oh, that's rock and roll, baby. And he holds it out. Normally we hear Freddie with the piano playing, but why don't we listen to the interaction between Freddie's vocals and John Deacon's bass line? And John Deacon, to me, is one of the most tasteful, underrated bass players of all time. I mean, if you're a fan of Queen, I feel like you really appreciate and love John's playing and his contributions to the band. But if you maybe never have really thought about it, he really is like a great musician and a great bass player. And let's listen to the two of them together. Mama just killed a man. Oh. Put a gun against his head. Again, he's gluing together the piano and the vocal line here. Pulled my trigger, now he's dead. Mama. Oh, how much more meaningful now is that slide in there against Freddie's vocals? Pulled my trigger, now he's dead. Mama. It's almost like a vocal quality, like what Freddie's doing with his voice. So good. All right, now we got the sweet, sweet part. We're going to bounce around a little bit here. Otherwise, this is going to be like an hour-long video. You don't want that. I don't want to edit that. But let's jump right in here. And let's listen to like how we're just slowly building up to the big operatic part. And I think this is a really good example of how awesome and what a key component the bass is to music and the bass lines. And we hear it a lot now that we've taken the piano out and we don't have all the notes within the chord and the kind of percussive thing of the piano going on. And we just have these single note bass lines against Freddie's vocals. It's beautiful to listen to how Deacon is just keeping us going, and he's just keeping us going further into the song. Mama, see what I mean? Just, it's so subtle, and it's stuff you wouldn't think about unless you like really isolate these tracks and take the song apart. And then what's really cool is the ending of this phrase, because he'll just slide the bass line up. Carry on, as if nothing really matters. Oh, and they form an interval there. That's so sweet. This is like the art part of it, right? Nothing really matters. Oh, it's so beautiful. Now, something else that's really cool that it's kind of hard to hear when you listen to this whole song together is what Brian's doing with the guitar. He's playing these harmonics that match part of the chord of what Freddie's playing on the piano and really support in like the chords that Freddie's playing. Let's just listen to the harmonics on the guitar first. Now let's lower the piano a little bit so we can make sure we hear the guitar part. You hear that? Here it comes. And then he cuts out the guitar part because I think the chords are probably too high and runs out of harmonics to do on the guitar. And then he comes back in with this part. And now we have the guitar just ripping in. And don't forget, within this track of guitar lines, he's overdubbed this guitar a couple of times. Meaning he did a take once, played on top of that take, and played on the top of the take again. And it just gives it that full sound. And this part here is where we hear the overdubbed guitar lines. So he's got like the chord like on the foundation, it's just like burn, and then he does this like ascending melodic line in the guitar. Let's check it out. Right? We've all heard that before. So that's what's going on there. He basically went through, like recorded the rhythm track to it with his guitar. Then he went and did this really cool solo on top of it. Okay, so this is a really cool part with the harmonies that's going on. We're getting to the part where Freddie's like, mama, do, you know, all that. I think this is a good combination of Freddie's melody paired with, I believe it's Roger, the drummer's high harmony part. So cool. The nuances of music. Mama! Again, just listen to Roger's high harmony. I'm assuming it's Roger's high harmony part and Freddie's melody line. I don't wanna die. I sometimes wish I'd never been born at all. Oh, this is so cool too, right here. Let's listen to how they use the harmony parts, like do 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 do. Like the buildup is so cool. I sometimes wish I'd never been born at all. And the great thing is too, it's kind of R&B-esque because it's like very rhythmic too. Like the harmony parts are so rhythmic. And that was like really common in R&B and Motown stuff, where like if you listen to some Gladys Knight and the Pips, like those backup harmonies are just as much of the groove as like the bass line or the drums. It's so groovy. It's incredible. And it's so subtle that unless you break it down, you don't always hear it like that, you know? I sometimes wish I'd never been born at all. You know what I mean? I mean, that's just gorgeous. Again, we're going back to Deacon, and we just want to show how pivotal the bass player is to a band. We've listened to Deacon basically supporting the vocals. We listen to Deacon supporting the piano lines, gluing the piano and the vocals together. Now listen how he's interacting with Brian May. And actually, it's kind of cool. There's two guitar lines going on and then the bass part. And I just heard this. One of the guitar parts, not the main solo part, but there's a like kind of a rhythmic part that's a little lower in volume under the lead guitar. And that's playing the same notes as the bass. So they're re-emphasizing it. Do you hear it? Just crushing it. Ooh, and sweet licks like this, these are things that that add so much to bass lines, and it's just like I feel like a great bass player will just throw it in there for your ear to hear once or twice, and then you don't hear it again. Like doody doody. Oh, it's so great, so great. We're getting towards the end of the song, but in the beginning, we talked about panning, how they use panning for the different vocal parts and such. And when they bring it back again, they use it for Brian's guitar parts. And again, you're going to hear like one guitar line coming out of the left ear, one guitar line coming out of the right ear. At times, it's going to be out of the both of them. And if you can look in the lower right-hand corner, you can kind of see where my mouse is, where one line starts. Like this basically is the guitar coming out of probably the left ear, and this one's the one coming out of the right ear. It's all Brian May. He just overdubbed himself. Yep. So did you hear it? So it was like left ear, right here, and then a harmonized guitar part out of both ears. So let's listen to just the left ear first. Right ear. Left ear, both. Right? So good. So good. And it's these like cool studio tricks that they're doing to make these songs come alive. But when we listen to the whole song, we don't really always hear the subtle nuances, especially if you're driving around in your car. This is why I always emphasize the use of headphones. Once again, headphones are the way to listen to music, and I hope you're getting that from this. And to really show how much of a well-rounded musician Freddie Mercury really was. I mean, he was a great singer, probably one of the best rock and roll singers of all time. Just like his range, how many octaves he could hit with his voice, how he could sing real airy and like classically sort of, and also like real rock and roll. But listen to this piano line. I don't think we always get to appreciate the piano part, but listen to how beautiful this is when there's no other instruments playing on top of it. And like that whole back and forth of those two chords that he's playing all leads up to that one chord, and then here we go. Actually, what makes it so emotional experience for me is the dynamics. How he knows when to play louder and gang, 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 and more like kind of rhythmically. Then he lets it breathe a little, like we were saying with the tension and release, and then just real soft, and then brings it down. Like his touch is real soft on the chords, brings it down volume-wise, and then kind of swells it back up a little bit again at that ending. It's so beautiful. And you can even see it on the audio track here, like the audio wavelengths. Like you hear that part, it's just so soft and subtle, and it just increases in volume. Here we go. just swells it. So beautiful, so gorgeous. One thing I always love about this song is how there are so many moving parts between Freddie's melody, the vocal harmonies, that giant sound they have. You have the bass, you have the piano, you have Roger's drum parts, and we also have the layer of Brian May's guitar parts happening at the same time. But what's interesting to me is like none of it is competing for space at all, but they're all just really supportive of each other, which in turn creates this great unified sound. And that's something that really moves me. But I would love to hear from you and hear what you find moving about this song. Is there anything cool about the isolated tracks that you liked? Is there anything in general that you just love about the song? Are there things that you don't like about this song? But that's cool too. Art is subjective. Also, if you love listening to music like this, I put together a free guide called How to Listen to Music Like a Musician Without Being One. It's a real short guide that just gives you a couple of ideas of how you can listen to the music that you love already on a deeper level. Sort of like this, but without isolating the tracks. And other than that, I hope this makes you more curious when you're listening to music on your own to actually what's happening between all the different parts. And as they say in the movies, until we meet again.